Good morning, everyone. We're welcome to Town Hall Meditation with Lama Surya Das. We'll get started in just a minute. There we are. Just want to let you know that at the end of April 30th, we have a day-long meditation retreat, a virtual meditation retreat scheduled. So please consider joining and taking part in that event. We'd like to see you there. So we'll just get started in a second here, but welcome to meditation, Town Hall Meditation, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, everybody, and a beautiful day it is. Happy Easter, happy Passover, Ramadan, and Festivus for the rest of us. It would be easy to talk, even to wax eloquent about the meaning of these festivals, their modern religious components and mystical and also ancient seasonal components like Easter, the light is risen, hope, the deathless spirit, etc. Passover, liberation from the bondage of illusion, confusion, ignorance, etc. But let's have a moment of silence first for all those who are beleaguered, who are suffering in Ukraine and Eastern Europe and the Middle East, who are refugees, of which there are millions and millions, and at least 3 million Ukrainian refugees. In fact, my college roommate, David, flew over there to rent vans and buses and trucks with some agencies driving them around. Those refugees pouring over the border into Eastern Poland and trying to get them to train stations, to refugee centers, to medical infirmaries, and carrying their baggage and so on, so they don't lose it along the way. I'm really touched and impressed by his blog, just by him doing it. My old comrade in arms from the 60s, peace marches and anti-war demonstrations that we were part of, and he's still going. As they say, the careful man may be the insufficient man, and he's never been insufficient, I assure you. David Schneider, if you must know. Anyway, we've only been friends since our freshman year in the dormitory in 1968. So that's how old I am, and he is too. So a moment of silence for all those who are suffering in the war zone and similarly afflicted all over the world. And may peace, inner peace, outer peace, domestic peace, world peace prevail. And let's do our part to assure that by rooting out the seeds, dare I say, the poisonous seeds of greed, hatred, and delusion, pride and jealousy, selfishness in our heart, minds, and in our systems, in our societies, inequality, oppression, prejudice, and racism, and so on. A moment of silence, please. opening our hearts and minds, including all in our sterling aspirations, prayers, and practices today on this beautiful Sunday, this Easter Sunday, this beautiful spring day, all gathered here together. How sweet it is. Om Shanti, 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 peace, harmony, peace. The late, great Buddhist master and international peace activist, Thich Nhat Hanh, famously said, and he has books like Being Peace and The Way to Peace, famously said, there is no way to peace. Peace is the way. Let's think about that and feel into that. Being peacemakers, being lights in this world rather than a blight on the landscape. Thank you all for joining. Heads and hearts, bodies and minds today on this beautiful Sunday, the day of the sun, the rising light, spring here where we are, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, whatever. Everything is so relative. Good to keep that in mind. There's a lot going on in this agitated world these days. A lot to deal with. It's good to find refuge, something to rely on, solace, beyond this Saha world, beyond this floating dewdrop world, as we call it in ancient Buddhism. Saha, like a dewdrop, so tenuous, so bubbly, so fickle, vibrating, like a dewdrop, about to drop any time and splatter. And find something reliable, solace, like in Buddhism we call it finding refuge, taking refuge, going for refuge, finding a port in the storm, the stormy waves of samsara, of worldly confusion and delusion. Something to rely on, a higher power, perhaps the inner power, as they call it in the theistic traditions, whatever. We have our higher power too, in the path of enlightenment called Buddhism. Don't think we don't. Awareness with a capital A plus, a wakefulness, taking refuge in Buddha mind, in Buddha, cosmic consciousness and a wakefulness, the higher power, beyond mere thoughts. Even when you're in a state of no thought, there's still something beyond that to be aware of it. We can find this, quote, within, as it were. but not just within myself, looking deeper into each other and into every moment. Peace. Just being, not getting lost in doing, becoming, achieving, accumulating, not to mention competing. Peace. Not to mention exploiting, manipulating, aggressing. Peace. Harmony, inclusiveness. You can find that in being with a capital B plus, aware of just being with a capital A plus for innate awakefulness, awareness, not just thought and concepts, but deeper intuitive awareness of being. Being is primary, is upstream from doing and becoming, that comes second. So just sitting, relaxing, being, taking a breath, taking a breather, stepping off the wheel of samsara, the spinning wheel, the vicious cycle of conditioning. Some call it the wheel of rebirth, the vicious cycle of conditioning, karma and conditioning, karma and kalesha in Sanskrit. Stepping off the treadmill, putting down our burden for a moment, stepping off the gerbil wheel, breathing, relaxing, smiling. What's not to enjoy right now, even if we're feeling pain, if we're sick, if we're worried. Still, pain in life is inevitable. Suffering is optional, as a wise guy said, as Buddhism teaches. How much we suffer from the pain is up to us and our state of consciousness, whether we contract around it, resist it, fight with it, or relax into it and just feel what we're feeling in the moment, not make a big story out of it. There's a lot to be concerned about these days. Let's find the inner balance, have some ballast in the belly of our ship so we're not so easily turned over by the waves and the winds, ballast in the hold. Letting go into the lower belly, finding ballast in our hold so our ship, our great vehicle, our Mahayana, our ship isn't so easily turned over. Find ballast in the hold by letting go. I like that apparent contradiction. Letting go and letting be, just for now. At the end of this session, we can get back to being social, spiritual, sacred activists, concerned citizens, concerned parents, spreading Easter eggs for the children like I just did under the bushes next door for the little girls. I even put a hard-boiled egg there, which I painted with a magic marker to cheer them up. Why not? All good. Good to Zampo. In the light. The ever-rising eastern sun, as Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche called it, Rigpa, ever intact, erect, awareful, awake. Not just awakening later, but awakefulness now. Imaho. Breathe, relax, smile. Breathe, relax, center, focus, smile. Take it easy. First, attention, then at ease. At ease. How sweet it is. Easy peasy. Nothing more to do. Remember, figure out, collect, understand. There's always more, don't worry. You don't have to bottle it. You don't have to write down those brilliant ideas or haiku-like poems that come floating through the mind right now. There's always more. It's like the Ganges River ever flowing. We don't have to bottle it and bring it home, as some people used to when I was in India. Walden's Henry David Thoreau, my erstwhile neighbor here in Concord, Massachusetts, Thoreau of Walden Pond fame, said, "This pond is connected underground to the Ganges." That resonates. Sacred earth. Everything is it. Holy, 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 as Allen Ginsberg sang in a poem. Holy. Thank you. Graceful, delightful, gift, miracle, Imaho. Just sitting, just breathing, just focusing, centering, smiling, relaxing, letting go, letting be, letting the tension drain out of your bottom, out of your body, into the leach field of the good earth, the sacred ground, our home, from which we spring and return to the five elements, all complete, Kundazampo, as is the Dzogchen slogan, as it is. Imaho. Way to go. Thank you. I love it. Wondrous, joyful, peace, Pax, Shanti. Come with me on this great journey. How sweet it is, Imaho. This breath, only breath, this moment is if only moment. Dig it, inhabit it, embrace it rather than resisting it or trying to avoid it. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. No one special to be or become. Thou art that, as it says in the Hindu scriptures, Tatwamasi, thou art that. The capital T is at the end there. Thou art that. You, the Buddha, of course. Thank you. All good. Kuntasampo. Enjoy the joy of non-meditation, unmeditation, undoing the habit of overdoing, non-meditation, Dzogchen, seeing through, just being through and through. Imahu. Enjoy Kuntasampo's meditation. All good, all complete, all yes. Thank you. Oh. Oh. aware of sitting and bodily sensations, letting them come and go, rise and fall like ripples on a stream, waves in the sea. No problem. Sees depth, sees awareness. Depth remains unmoved, just ripples, superficial ripples on the surface, temporary, ungovernable, ownerless, impermanent, changing, no problem. Even beautiful. Every bubble like a poem, every thought bubble like a poem, just aware of letting it rise and fall, like snowflakes dissolving into a lake as they fall, round bob, self dissolving. Eyes open, ears open, heart, mind open, everything open, at ease, relaxed, spacious, accommodating, allowing, open to the wisdom of allowing things to proceed without interference, grasping, and manipulation. Ah. Focusing a little more on the out breath as a metaphor for releasing, for letting go, for emptying yourself. Less of me, the more room for thee, O Lord, Buddha, the more room for thee, O sacred other. Less of me, more room for thee, as the mystics say. Present, grateful, incandescently present, lucid, the art and practice of presencing, mindfulness, awareness, pure presence, in Tibetan, Rigpa. Himaro, Eureka, Hallelujah. Yes, thank you. I was a teenage Buddha imitator, like a statue sitting in the garden day and night, but I'm much less stupid now. Authenticity, naturalness is the way, the truth, and the life, the light, the clear light, the sacred light, whatever we call it. Incandescent, lucid openness and awareness, inseparable. True nature of mind, sheer lucency. Seeing through separateness. Just seeing, being, Imaho. That's what it is. The immaculate, great confection. Ah. Awareness alone, naked awareness. Beyond action and beyond inaction, the sublime Dharma is accomplished. As Patra Rinpoche sang. Take the being challenge of non-meditation, of just being present, authentic, awakeful, incandescently present. The art and practice of presencing, lucid, aware of whatever arises, letting it go. Imaho, Eureka, hallelujah, thank you, yes, yes. All good, Kuntasambo. And enjoy the joy of natural non-meditation. Dzogchen and meditation, Imaho. Ah. Now with a big out breath, reviving the corpse of natural wakefulness, intensifying, collecting ourselves, our mindfulness, inhaling deeply and exhaling. What a relief, what a release. Emptying oneself. The less of me, the more room for thee. More. Again, inhaling and releasing. And for the third and last time, that was just warm up practice. Now let's really do it. Inhaling. I can't hear you. That's better. Shake everything to bits. See who what is present. May God be with you. As always. Always is already. Flow, let it go. Enjoy the show. How sweet it is, Oreo. Hey, yo. Oh, yay, some. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 May all beings be happy, fulfilled, and content. May all beings be awakened, liberated, healed, fulfilled, and free. May there be peace in this world. May there be an end to pandemics, war. May we be better prepared for natural disasters. May there be more justice, equality, empathy, mutual understanding, and caring. And may we all together complete a spiritual journey. May all beings everywhere with whom we are inseparably interconnected and who want and need the same as we do, may all be awakened, liberated, healed, fulfilled, safe, and free. May there be peace and harmony in this world, inner and outer, at home and abroad, domestic peace too, and an end to war and violence, poverty, hunger, oppression, greed, selfishness, and cruelty, famine, droughts, earthquakes. May we all be free from fear, harm, danger, anxiety, and insecurity. May there be an end to exploitation and aggression. May we find peace within our hearts and souls, bodies and minds, communities and families and nations. And may we all together complete this gorgeous, miraculous spiritual journey. One Sangha, one satsang, one true fellowship, one community, one beloved community, one circle, one family, all the way home. Ah, Namo. I love the joy of meditation, of contemplative practices, of chanting, praying, of raising the spirit together, elevating ourselves, and all interconnected, interwoven, interdependent in being. No man is an island, alone unto himself, as the poet sang hundreds of years ago. But we don't even hear that today. Women already know they're not an island, but men need to hear that probably. I don't know. Done. However, it's great to get together and see you all on this beautiful day. There's so little interiority in our time and in our society, and so much looking outwards, whether it's materialistically for things to satisfy ourselves, our greed, our desires, our wishes, our ambitions, our whatever, our senses, or looking outward and blaming others. The person in the White House, the person on the other side of the world, some group, or some narrative, some memory of our so-called miserable childhood or background or centuries of persecution or whatever, all important. I don't say forgive and forget. I say forgive and remember. Learn the lessons, otherwise we're doomed to repeat it. Go through the same lessons, we get left back till we get it and can move on. As they say, if you don't get the joke this time, you'll be reborn again until you do. I don't know who says that, but I like to say it. So we don't take it too seriously. And yet it's relevant. We look at our conditioning, we look at our habits, we look at how like reproduces like and so on. Something to learn about how to master ourselves rather than be victim of circumstances and conditions, how to plant different seeds, how to get off the unhappy bus, get on the happy bus, as somebody has said. There's so many opportunities these days as well as challenges, and especially here in this country. I'm going to open the floor to questions. People have a lot of questions. It's a good way to get together and to be interactive and sharing and hear each other. Please join us in our upcoming day-long. We also have master classes and other events and projects summer retreat, etc. Here at the Dzogchen Center. So please join us and carry on this mission of transmission in our benighted world best you can. Best for oneself, best for all, best for our loved ones and the generations to follow. Any questions, please?
I have one question for Marcia. She asks if you could say something about the three kayas.
That's such an esoteric subject. Marcia, what is the three kayas in English, please? For the benefit of everybody, this is not a test. That's part of the difficulty, even translating it, this esoteric subject about outer, inner, and mystical or secret. Marcia, three kayas in English. How are you thinking about it?
I don't see her to unmute her. Not sure where she's at.
This is why I ask. I says, okay, fair enough. It's just such an esoteric subject. I don't want to belabor the point. You can Google it. You could follow it up. You can study it. The three kayas. Kayas means bodies. Bodies is what? Bodies of Buddha. Buddha means what? So, it's a little complicated. Dharmakaya, the body of truth or the truth dimension, reality, shunyata, formless. Sambhogakaya, the energy or enjoyment body, the enjoyment dimension. And Nirmanakaya, embodiment, incarnation, like Tulku in Tibetan for Kaya. Nirmanakaya, like the Dalai Lama and other incarnate Tulkus, embodiment in this world. So that's what the three kayas is about. Then you get into what's the use of it. So the use of it is to understand that there's an outer form, embodiment, solid, inner nature, let's say, that how it works. Like, is it luminous? Is it active? Is it dark? Is it, spontaneous? Is it unmoved? Experience is more like the Sambhogakaya, not just things which are solid, but experience. And then innermost, the essence, if you want to say, which is not Buddhism's best word, but you have to say something in English. So essence, nature, and manifestation are the three kayas: essence, nature, and manifestation. Nature or characteristics, and manifestation, like compassion and action. So essence, invisible Dharmakaya, the truth body. So we take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha externally, but internally, what does it mean? Maybe it's like the meditator's refuge, as I call it, the Mahamudra refuge, finding refuge in our nature of our own mind, resting in the empty openness of the Dharmakaya nature, the Buddha within. There's so many technical terms for these things, the suchness, the isness, and then taking refuge in the Sambhogakaya nature, the pure luminosity, the experience of Sambhogakaya, enjoying the luminosity of whatever form or shape it takes, and then and this is like in meditation practice, resting in the open emptiness, the luminous void, resting in the Sambhogakaya, the spontaneous manifestations, which is the Nirmanakaya. So just to end this, and this is not the most cogent, thought out answer, but it's not bad. You can look it up further. Those are keys to help you understand this esoteric subject. And I don't want to belabor the point. I see quizzical faces, and I understand. You probably don't hear me bring the three kayas up very much. Oh, a little voice. There are four kayas. What about that? The Swabhavika kaya, the 3 in 1. Oh, what? The fifth kaya? The Mahasukha kaya, the dimension or the body of bliss, of enlightenment. What? The sixth one? The Vajrakaya? Oh, be quiet, lineage masters. As my Buddhist friend, who I always quote because I have heard so much from him, and he's such a pioneer and inspiration to us all, Joseph Goldstein, says, you Tibetans, you always one up us. If we say there's only one yana, one tradition, Ekayana, as Buddha said, you say, no, there's two. There's also the Mahayana. No, there's three, and so on. So how many Kayas are there, Marsha? That's the problem. Not really. To be or not to be. Is that really a problem? Not really. On another level, seeing what's written on the lines and what's in between the lines. So Kaya also means sort of dimension, like the outer dimension, tuku, embodiment, the inner dimension, experience, consciousness, etc. And the secret or esoteric or top secret dimension, the ultimate subjectivity of shunyata. Any other easy questions? What happens after we die? What is the meaning of life? Anything?
I don't see any easy questions here, but
any others?
Ben has a question. He says, how can I make effort and accomplish worldly things without my habit of self-aggression?
The issue of aggression and self. There's a difference between aspiration, probably, and ambition. And there's probably, good ambition, like healthy ambition, and unhealthy, too much megalomaniacal ambition to take over everything, step on everybody's head to get to the top. But there's a big difference between aspiration and ambition. So from the Mahayana, from the Bodhisattva tradition, from our point of view, Bodhisattva code, the way to live our life is a light in the world as a spiritual mensch. Aspiration, aspiring, not just ambition for oneself, which has a lot to do with aggression. So in aspiration, it's more inclusive. It's not competitive with others. It's like trying to be a better self yourself, or trying to improve your golf score against your last best golf score, not beat the other people or take money from them in bets, which is of course fun, but we don't have to take it too seriously. That's not why we play games, really, I hope. So aspiration. And then looking into the nature as you are, which I'm proud of you, Ben, what you call aggression. There are ways to get ahead, perhaps through learning nonviolent communication or getting to yes, a third alternative to winning and losing. A third alternative to us and them mentality, the zero-sum thinking, like synergy. The two together makes more than three or four. Synergy, it's called. The deep issue, I think, is about looking into our own, and Buddhists call it the three poisons, three main kileshas that drive us: greed, I want; hatred or aggression, I don't want; and based on delusion or illusion of separateness or not knowing. So it's exhausting, all that wanting and unwanting. Think we'll get happy if we get what we want, and we all are grown-ups here. We see how long that lasts. What do they say in Overeaters Anonymous? Or maybe it's Jenny Craig. I don't know. They're all the same to me. Really, I should be in one of them. A moment on the lips, a lifetime on the hips. So how long does it make you happy? With the image of drinking salt water. Of course, eating ice cream isn't the same as drinking salt water, which just makes you thirsty. But maybe eating ice cream or, sugar, I don't know, salt, nicotine, alcohol, such things maybe just make you more thirsty for more of it. One could look into this and find the balance for you, the middle way, the healthy middle way, not all or nothing, the middle way, balance and appropriateness. So you're thinking about aggression and ambition. There are other ways to collaborate, to get to yes, to share, to serve the greater good for what do we call it? The categorical imperative. The philosophers call it the greatest good for the greatest number, not just self-interest, what's good for me. Nobel Peace Prize winner, the Dalai Lama. No. Archbishop Tutu. No. Henry Kissinger, Hawk. Anyway, Peace Prize winner. He trenchantly said, expert on foreign relations and such things. He famously said, the main principle of politics or world politics is self-interest. That may be obvious, but it was really a startling condensation or sort of algorithm explaining a lot of things. Of course, countries are doing what the leaders and people think is best for them, for survival. So there is a way beyond that, like collaboration, especially in these times and era of increasing interdependence and interconnectedness, when the ozone layer and the skies and the waters and the earth is endangered. We can't hide behind the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans anymore, as we learned in the middle of the last century. And now we're finding out other things about this interconnectedness. So it's very important to see the difference between, aggressive, competitive, zero-sum thinking and a more evolved, getting to yes, collaborative model. Again, let me recommend, look into, and there are books, studies, websites, probably master classes on this, Ben, nonviolent communication. I know there's a classic on mediation and negotiation called Getting to Yes, but I can't remember exactly, such things. These are not new. These are 20, 30, 40 years old things. Certainly people these days are getting more evolved. I was very interested in the notion of the Occupy idea. I don't know what it accomplished, but I kind of liked it. And I picked it up myself in the sense of saying we have to occupy spirituality ourselves, not leave it up to the Dalai Lama, Archbishop Tutu, Mother Teresa, and the saints. I don't know where the Occupy movement really went or how it worked out, but this is now 20 years later. It's time for the next generations, with us backing them, to move forward. Otherwise, there'll never be peaceful coexistence on this planet, or even at home in our society, our so-called classless society, democratic so-called society, or even in our families. So much domestic violence, strife, and I'm not going to pick on divorce rate or abuse or anything else, but there's a lot there. Rooting out the greed, selfishness, self-interest, reducing our selfishness and greed and anger will help a lot, I'm sure, on the bigger and local level, personal level too. Thank you. I think it's noon. So thank you very much. Hope you'll see you at our upcoming day-long retreat and our summer retreat and other things. And take care. I'll see you in your daily practice, as that's where I meet my gurus, my teachers, and my Sangha friends too in these COVID days when we're not gathering in person, although we hope to be doing that again. And this is, pretty good. Getting used to it, although hope to see you in person soon. Be well. Thank you. Stay healthy.